Alrighty, so this will be the mid and late game replay video, so I won't do this from a particular player perspective. This will just be from all of the team perspective, just talking about what I kind of think is going on as far as team planning and strategies and kind of how we pissed away our lead, really. So let's see what we got here. This is the end of the laning stage, 10 minutes. I guess we can check. Alright, so net worth, Ember is crushing it, so Quap is having a terrible time. Naga is a little ahead of Silencer, Enigma is even less ahead of Spectre, but we're losing both lanes in net worth. Supports are all kind of low. For some reason I have a little bit more cash, and don't know why. XP, of course Ember's at the top, Naga and Silencer after that, and then Enigma, Spectre is considerably lower. About 70 XP per minute behind the enemy carry. A lot of that's probably because the Enigma's denying the damn range creep. I'm not sure how many of the side pulls the Enigma may have gotten. I don't think many. While the supports top are fighting, there wasn't an awful lot of side pulling. Most of it was the Snapfire single pulling into the small camp. Alright, so GPM, all that. Okay, cool. Let's see, items. So the Naga went Midas, so he didn't even finish his Wraith Band. He just decided he was having such a shitty game, going to go straight into a naked Midas without even finishing a single Wraith Band. Quap doing double null into what looks like power treads. Oracle's going for maybe Tranquil Boots, but I kind of doubt it's probably just a casual value windlace. Enigma's got a null talisman, going for headdress and the chainmail. Okay, interesting. So straight Greaves here. Not sure about that, but okay. Nyx has nothing. Boots, the wand, and the orb of venom. So Nyx is having a bad time. Nyx is somehow level 3. That's kind of surprising. So 888 on all their cores, and then 4-3. Our guys are 10-7-8, and then 5-5. So their supports are behind, our Spectre is behind, but our mid and our offlaner, our mid is ahead, our offlaner's even with theirs. It's kind of interesting. Spectre has very few items actually, so just finished the power treads, chainmail. Power treads and chainmail, okay, interesting. So I guess that's the first part of blade mail, so going for the blade mail after the power, finishing the boots. Okay, the Ember is going for, I think he was talking about going for a Deso here. I wonder if he actually does go for the Deso, but finishing the phase boots. Silencer is finishing the power treads, going for magic wand into, I think, a force staff. Clock is trying to finish the urn. And the urn timing isn't terrible. The spirit vessel timing is pretty bad. And I think he just never gets an item after that. Snapfire's got Tranks in pieces for value. I'm not sure what the next item is there. Alright, so we have a significant net worth advantage. That's really nice to see. So 1.4k. XP, huge advantage there. That's good stuff. Win rate. So we were supposed to be, I think, way behind. We're supposed to have like a 19% win rate according to the draft at 20 minutes. Right now at 10 minutes though, it seems like we have a 58% chance, so that's really good stuff. Ape versus Dire, why doesn't my name show up? Do I not have a short version? Okay. Alrighty, so let's see what happens here from a macro perspective. So overall we're up 6 kills and about 1k net worth. Okay, so harass on the Naga here, and I think this is the Naga's 3rd death. This is about to be her 3rd death, if I'm mistaken. Well, this would be 4th death. That's really good. Yep, so Clock ends up casting the batteries, and it's not even needed. I think yeah, the Silencer ends up just getting the kills all by himself. So Naga's now died 4 times, which is really good, and I kind of want to highlight that. So Naga's gone 0-4, but is still keeping up with farm, and then accelerates after this point. So we've really, given the Naga a terrible start. Killed her once before the horn started, so that one doesn't really count. But then he's had 3 deaths in lane, and then when he jungles, we're going to kill him a 5th time. And so I'm really interested to see how we somehow piss away this lead where the enemy carries 0-5 right off the bat. Nyx is having a terrible time, 0-3. Everyone else is just kind of okay. Ember's having a fantastic game. Everyone else is just doing okay. So, very interesting.
The silence deepens.
Alright, so where is everybody? Spectre's walking back to lane, it looks like, through her own jungle. Okay. Ember has come bot, so it looks like we're going to try and take the tower over here. Clockwork pulls the lane away while Ember's got double damage, so that's good stuff. He's going to turn into a free tier 1. And then Spectre's in kind of an iffy spot against the 2 of these, but Ember shows up to help. Okay. Good kill. I couldn't even give it to the Spectre. Ember keeps taking those last hits for some reason, but that's okay. Alrighty. So, good kill on the Enigma. Excellent rotation from the Ember Spirit. Otherwise, not much else is going on. Clock is, I think, going to feed into the Naga here. Oh, potential kill on the Nyx. Okay, so 2 things are happening here. So the Nyx dive is happening, and the Clock is trying to debate for the silencer. So at that point, the Clock was trying to cogs, but ended up fucking it up. And so for this reason, the Naga gets away, and that's a shame because that should have been Naga's 5th death. So she'll die again in jungle, but she ends up getting a kill first, which is the fuck up. So the Clockwork should have put the cogs down earlier to force her to run into the silencer. So this is a very greedy dive here, though, as well. So while Clockwork screws up the kill on the Naga, Naga gets bullied out a little bit and has to run away, but still, it's not a great trade, and it kind of gives back a little bit of space to the Naga. She can feel confident staying in her jungle. Looks like the Snap Kisses didn't finish off the Nyx Assassin, and we ended up diving so far that we were going to lose the Snap here for nothing. So this is probably the beginning of the turnaround here. Yep. Alright, so we lose that. Win probability is still really good for us, though. Okay. Oh man, and we lose the Ember here for nothing? Okay, so in the last 3 plays, we just went from, what was that, 11-3, and really putting the pressure on to overcommitting diving, and 3 of our heroes feeding for nothing. So that's really bad. I'm going to say this is where we started to throw the game away. So Ember, Snap, and Clock all die here for nothing. We bully out the Naga a little bit, but she's just going right back to farming, and Silencer has to go back to lane. So that's not fantastic. Yeah, he is going for Greaves' first item, which is smart for the Enigma. Alrighty. So now I'm probably calling for more pressure on the Naga in lane. We talked about this at the end of the game. So I said we gave up putting pressure on the Naga and we started taking fights that were even at best. Some other people on the team said that the fights were actually all good for us. But I'm looking here and I'm going to say that these fights are not going all good for us. So I'm trying to hold in the Queen of Pain here, but this seems dubious. Okay, so she gets away. Clock dies for nothing, and we're really botching this here. So we've gone from 11-3 to 11-7. Alright, so now we've got 2 people mid, 1 person bottom. Naga's still farming the jungle, though. Spectre has swapped sides, which is excellent. Spectre needs to stay on this side, but now he's getting caught and killed off, and that's not great. Someone needs to be there with the Spectre to bully out the Naga, make sure she can't go one-on-one with the Spectre, and then, leech her camps and take some of the XP as the Naga tries to flash farm. But instead, the Spectre gets bullied completely back to the bottom tier 1 tower here, it looks like, and Naga gets to keep farming while Spectre's doing a whole lot of nothing, waiting for the creep wave to get to her. We keep trying to force this mid-fight, so Clock comes bottom to look for the Naga, but everyone's posturing mid, and this is really how we start to throw away the lead. Alright, so we lose our tier 1 for nothing. We have taken their tier 1 earlier, but it's not as good of a deal. Alright, here the Clockwork is in a bad spot and dies again. So lots of feeds from the Clockwork, lots of fuck-ups. If he'd gotten that first kill on the Naga, it would be different, but now it's 2 meaningless deaths from the Clock, 1 from Ember, 1 from Snap, I think. And so now we've gone from 11-3 to 11-8. We're not getting anything out of this, so all these fights are terrible. Extremely terrible mid fights. Still trying to force it mid. We're fighting like 2v4 mid, which seems clunky. So, yeah, rather than fighting mid right now, what we need to be doing is putting pressure on the Naga. So the Naga and the Spectre are both trying to farm the jungle while the rest of us posture around mid. Enigma has creeps, Eidolons coming up top, so they're putting earlier pressure on our tier 2, even though we took the tier 1 sooner. So we should be putting pressure on their tier 2 and taking over this half of the jungle. Instead, we're trying to posture up and force the tier 1 mid tower rather than the tier 2 bottom, and we're now losing pressure in all lanes, which is clunky. So let's see what happens. A lot of pressuring. Okay, so now we're collapsing bottom for the Naga Siren, which is good. Ah, what a cute juke. That's pretty funny. Yeah, this is where he was saying she get a tip. Yep, he gets a tip. But so more importantly, you know, Ember is basically soaking up all this attention mid. This is fantastic. So Ember is going 1v4, and these guys are wasting a shitload of time, and we're about to collapse on the Naga and kill her again. And that's really the important detail. So there's Naga. Naga tries to do her thing, and Naga dies. That's what we need to be doing. So this is perfect. We take it back a little bit. Kill a courier for fun just because, and now we need to put pressure back on the bottom tier 2. But for some reason we start moving back to mid tier 1 thinking we're going to wrap around, take a fight. I guess Spectre does have Haunt, but this is clunky here. We should be taking a tier 2 instead of mid tier 1. Alright, Clock goes in, doesn't look good. Spectre haunts, kisses everywhere. Alright, we get the Nyx easy, that looks good. We're gonna get the Enigma. We should get Enigma here. Nope. He gets a 4-man fucking black hole. Okay, so we still kill him. Alright. Silence afterwards, and it actually looks like an okay cleanup. Naga's coming in behind though. I think Naga gets a kill here. Yeah, no cookie. But Naga gets a good kill. And a courier. Alright, so we get out, we end up training the Spectre and the Snap for Quap, Enigma, and Oracle. I don't really like that. Alright, so Clockwork zips in here, finishes off this kill for the Silencer, but then ends up dying because everybody responds. Okay, that was an optimistic cookie. I think you gotta cookie the Ember there instead of yourself. If you cookied the Ember, then depending on where it was facing, that might have connected. Alright, so now he's flash farming the jungle camps with his illusions. And so he's probably going to start pulling ahead here. So let's see what the net worth looks like at this point. Alright, 17-11, still have a solid advantage. And Naga's way ahead. So Naga has like 1,300 gold at 17 minutes over our carry. Our mid is solidly ahead though, another 1,000. So the advantage between Naga and Spectre is bigger than the advantage between our Ember and Quap, and I think that's worth noting because Ember absolutely shat on Quap. I think it was like a 6-0 start. And so even with that huge advantage over the Quap is doing better relatively compared to the Ember than our carry is doing to their carry. So we're really not slowing down Meepon's farming. And I don't think that's the Spectre's fault. You know, the Spectre's farming the way he needs to be, I think. I haven't really been paying attention to the farming patterns, I think, but the Naga is definitely outrunning us in farm, and we've released all pressure on the Naga. So we killed her 5 times really early in the game, and now we're at a point where, you know, we're probably not really going to kill her again. And so instead of going 1-5 and then taking that to 1-6, 1-7, we're going to let this become 1-5, 2-5, 3-5, 5-5, 8-5, and she's going to just start getting to the point where Clockwork plus Silencer or Clockwork plus Snapfire plus Ember can't really finish her off anymore. Alright, so what's going on macro here? Let's see, Snapfire's in a weird spot, but gets away, good stuff. We're still putting pressure on bottom. Bottom tier 2 is pushing in, but we're still posturing around mid. That's a huge mistake. Cannot posture around mid still. So we keep thinking we're going to brute force the mid tier 1 tower, and you know, I guess maybe eventually we will, but it's taken way too long. Did get a pick off on the Oracle, so maybe that's what leads to this tower finally dropping. But okay, Quap shows up. Good kill on the Quap there. Alright, so that's good. Couple of freebies right there. They just gave those away. Now we should take the tier 1 mid tower. This should be free now. Okay, diving a little deep here. We don't have Spectre, they have the Naga. Good force staff to get the Silencer away from the Naga Siren. So that was a beautiful force staff to get him into the river. And so this whole time Spectre's taking bottom tier 2, so that's fantastic. But really, the team should be taking the bottom tier 2 with Spectre. Spectre should be doing that alone. Alright, Spectre goes top for some farm, and then everyone else just goes back to doing their own thing. Clock is out of position. Clock dies here. Okay, yeah, Song to finish the clock off. That's a shame. I think if the clock had the sense to hook shot into the creep wave instead of the neutral camp, he would have done better. Maybe he was trying to and didn't realize they were there. Looks like they're going for a black hole play here. Okay. Quick delete on the silencer there. It's unfortunate. So the smoke gank deletes silencer, and everyone else is on the run now. We don't have the sustain for this. We don't have a mechanism or Greaves or an aura heal. So we don't have as much team fight sustain as they do. Alright, so we actually lose our tier 1 tower first. It's a shame. We never took the bottom tier 2. Spectre is still farming a little bit, but at 20 minutes, let's see where we're at. Okay, so Naga's 1,400 ahead of Spectre. Quap is still a little low. Enigma is well ahead of the Silencer, 1,200. And the Oracle is pretty rich as far as supports go. Oops, get out of my way. Alright, so net worth, huge swings, terrible fights. 11-3, we're now at 21-4. And win percentage has fallen away from us. Probably when we started feeding is this section here. We had like 3 deaths in a row or something without any response. And then maybe we brought it back here with the 1 good kill on the Naga. But at this point we are not favored to win anymore. And I don't think we will be for the rest of the game. Alright. See some more macro plays. Alright, so everyone's doing their thing. We're all running around, people are farming. What's everyone's items look like, actually? Are we talking about items? Naga's going typical. So, skipped the Wraith Bands completely, went Manta, and is now going for Diffusal. And he's just got 2 value Slippers of Agility with Blades of Alacrity in the backpack. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. That seems... Oh, they're in the stash, not the backpack. Okay, that would have been ridiculous. Quap is going for Orchid. Oracle's got a Yules. Enigma's got his Greaves. And... looks like the Nyx is going for a Force Staff. Spectre is working on Manta, doesn't have it yet. Ember is working on, is that a BKB or an Ags? I'm thinking that's an Ags, I can't remember. But Maelstrom, I think that turns into a G-Mace later. Silencer is going for, see, a Cloak? Silencer is going for Pipe? I don't know if that's the answer here, but okay. Clock has his Urn, that's going to turn into a Spirit Vessel. And Snapfire has the Medallion, probably turns into a Solar Crest here shortly, or maybe the Fluffy Hat turns into a Force Staff first. Arcane Boots with the value Tranquil items. This is going to be an Aether Lens in the future. Not sure. Oh, you know what? Maybe, I don't know. Alright, so no clue what everyone's doing with items. Alright, so a whole lot of nothing's going on. I do remember that the first Roche is a surprise to us, and it's unfortunate. We were all a little disappointed. But we don't have any plans to Roche. We don't have a great lineup for it. So we probably need a full pick-off, you know, like 3 people on their team dead. All right, we're smoking in to invade. This looks good so far. Clock is going in first, followed closely by the Ember and the Snapfire, so this should turn into something. Yeah, we actually get revealed at some point. It's by the illusions, which is a shame. The Meepone is farming with the illusions out in the jungle, and the smoke fails. I think we still try and force this fight, which is the iffy part. Ooh. So the Ember dies immediately to the Quap, it looks like. That's bad stuff. Does the Ember survive somehow? Well, good for the Ember. Trying not to get denied. Looks like the Spectre was going to deny the Ember to make sure that Quap didn't get the kill there, but overall, trade the mid and the supports for 2 supports, so somehow that worked out okay, even though it was a very split fight. Okay, so Spectre goes straight in, and Silencer gets caught in the black hole, so that's really bad. So that was a fight worth mentioning. Let's go back for this. So Meepone runs up with his Naga, and Meepone wants to take this fight, and for some reason, our carry decides he also wants to take the fight. So we've got an Ember Spirit with nothing. He's got no health, no mana. He's on the run, so he's not playing at all. The Silencer is here, right-clicking shit, and the Naga rushes in like he wants to fight. He's got Diffusal, he's got Manta, and for some reason Spectre decides he also wants to fight, which is crazy. So for some reason he thinks he's stronger, and Silencer is trying to help, runs in way too close. So Silencer being this close is terrible because he's about to get Black Hole with them. So, and okay, so the Enigma didn't even have Blink Dagger. The Enigma just walked up and ended up using that, so that's really bad on the Silencer. You should have seen the Enigma walking up behind, or even if you didn't, you know, the whole point is for the Silencer to play far back enough that doesn't happen. So big screw up there. I don't think the Spectre should have even gone in to fight the Naga. I don't know why he thought he was strong enough to man fight her after that fight, but that was iffy either way. And of course, you know, the chances that, you know, it gets saved wasn't possible because of the bad positioning. Alright, so now Clock dies because he's getting diffuseled to death by a damn one. Yeah. That's a shame. More feeding from the Clock. That's always good. Alright, so Snap is working on a Force Staff and then Crest, which is good. I think the Clock wanted a Force Staff as well, never got to it. Alright, unfortunate Cookie. The Cookie goes the wrong way, so they don't get the jump on the Naga. And then looks like the Snapfire is going to tank the death for the Spectre to get away. And I think everyone chain feeds here, if I remember correctly. This turns into like a weird chain feed. Yeah, so the Ember dies by running into like 4 people and no one else is around. And I think someone else will die here shortly. What's our win rate drop to at this point? Okay, so we're at 30% chance to win. 7k disadvantage in farming. So, and really, all that's the Naga. So the Naga's now gotten 4,000 ahead, and it's going to continue to snowball over. This fight I remember going okay. We end up catching the Naga, I believe. So everything here works out fine. Did we not catch the Naga? I thought we got her. Maybe not. Okay. So Haunt is cast, but you don't actually jump with the Haunts. Okay. Jump in, there we go. We're gonna get the Naga there. Clock is distracting 2 others. Silencer is getting killed off by Nyx. The Silencer into Nyx matchup is terrible if you get caught out. Silencer can't do too much. Guess he thought that was going to get him over the hill. And then now just a solo black hole onto the Spectre. So I'm going to say the game is pretty much lost at this point. So we have a couple more chances. There are a few opportunities where, you know, we could end up canceling the black hole and turning a team fight around. But overall, even if theoretically from this point on the silencer cancels all the black holes, we're still losing. So there's a 9K disadvantage farm-wise. The win rate for us has dropped to 25%. The Naga is going to continue to outfarm the Spectre. Let's see what Spectre's build going to be. Scotty. Okay, so Spectre's going to get Scotty probably by the time Naga has Heart. Naga will probably actually have Heart sooner than Spectre gets Scotty. And I think the game just gets rougher and rougher. Enigma, let's see, he's going for BKB into Yules. That's kind of interesting. So no refresher there. Silencer's not going for refresher, he's going for pipe. Clock is poor, Snap is poor. Nyx is poor. Oracle's kind of poor. It's going for, is that a value cloak on the Oracle? That's kind of interesting. And then the Quap is behind, but the problem is the Ember's advantage over the Quap doesn't make up for the Naga's advantage over the Spectre. So there's a couple more points in the game where we had a fighting chance, but I think after this point we sort of get bullied into our own high ground. We're hiding behind our towers and nothing really happens. So yeah, I think they Roche here pretty soon. Alright, so that was a smoke attempt. It was a good thought, but we end up missing it. We don't have smoke, or we don't have dust. I have sentries. And we run into, who do we run into? The Nyx. Yeah, the worst target possible. You don't want the Nyx to break our smoke, and Naga gets the Aegis here. Yeah, so they get the Aegis, they immediately pop out and delete me. And then I think at this point we're just kind of hiding. There were a couple points where we could have had a good fight. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, so this is an interesting fight. Trade Clock for Silencer, and I think we turtle at this point. Yeah, Silencer gets a good TP out, and we turtle a little bit. And there's one good opportunity that I just want to end on. There's a spot where we could have held, but for some reason we chain fed at the end. And so rather than wait for one person's buyback or one person's spawn timer to come back up, we ended up throwing away our last possible chance to hold the throne. So yeah, here we are, we're getting sieged, blah, blah, blah. It's coming up here in a second, I'm sure. Alright, this looks like it's getting close. Alright, here we go, last fight. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so they're coming in. Snap holds his force staff to the right second, which is pretty smooth. And then Cookie's out. Yep, I remember that play. That's good stuff. Snap is running away. Not much else is going on. And so the Clock ends up jumping in right here, and then he puts the cogs here because the idea is he wants to split the team so that everyone goes for the Naga and the rest of the team is behind and can't help. But of course the Enigma's waiting for his perfect blink opportunity here, so not a lot of value in that. Alright, this may be a little further in the future than I thought it was. But okay, so yeah, they lose the Aegis and we decide that it's go time after the Aegis is gone. Clock comes up, goes for the split. Alright, so Naga's pushed back. Clock dies. Alright, so at this point, Naga is pushed away from her team, so the rest of the team is on the outside. Clock has come up, he's put the cogs here. We still don't even dump enough damage into the Naga to be able to take care of her. The Spectre isn't using Haunt to cancel the black hole, so that's a shame. He does have his BKB. Silencer does get a silence, but it's afterwards, it's too late. And we do end up winning this fight, though. We don't get the Naga, but we get like 2 other people here. Yeah, so we push out a little bit, and I think we get too greedy. I think we end up feeding right here. So good couple of kills, we get greedy, we don't get the Naga, and yeah, we try and take a fight at a tier 1. So at this point, and this is the one that I want to talk about, but this is another good point. This tier 1 is worthless. The team shoving out at 34 minutes when we're getting siege into our high ground to try and kill a tier 1 is absolutely worthless. We shoved forward, we lost our mid-ember because we wanted to kill a tower that is worth basically nothing. How much gold did we get? 90 each. Okay, so we got 90 gold each. We lost 500 for the Ember. Ember's dead. He doesn't have enough gold for buyback. Why is it locked in there? Okay. And we could have spent that time dewarding our own jungle and farming, and really that's what we should have done. So, the little bit of space that we gained from killing this tower wasn't worth all of the space we could have gained back here. We could have, had the supports out here dewarding, picked up another rune, cleared out all these camps, and then postured up for another defensive fight. Because again, we're still on the back foot. So just because we killed Quap and Oracle in that last fight doesn't mean that we've somehow turned the game around. We're still way the fuck behind. And as soon as these two come back to life, we need to go right back to turtling up and defending behind our racks. Just like we were a second ago. So if there's a good fight and there's a good turnaround, don't just immediately rush down the lane to try and kill some worthless objective like a tier 1 tower. We need to clear out a little bit of space, farm what camps we can, get some neutral items if we're missing them, because I think at this point we were missing. No, okay, not yet. So later on we were missing some neutral items, which we never got. And then just take that farm and then go back and not be greedy with it. But losing the Ember hurts us more than losing the Quap and the Oracle hurts them. And so that's a really terrible turnaround for us. All right, enough of that. Alright, so now we're going to come back in a second. We turtle back up, we go for a really bad fight for some reason. So Spectre ends up dying here because we take a weird fight outside the base instead of turtling. And at this point we've definitely lost. Alright, Silencer buys back, we start chain feeding because we're outside the base when we should have never been caught outside the base. Guess he purges that off. Alright, so now at this point we have the option to turtle and defend, and we can wait for one more fight, and I think we don't. This is the one where I was telling the team that we should wait. So right here, we're losing racks, that's going to happen. We're losing the game really, but we're losing the racks here. They're either going to decide to go for the top lane and get megas against us, or they're going to go for tier 4s. We have 2 more people on the team coming back to life in 10 seconds. So right now it's 2 versus 5. If we wait 10 fucking seconds, then we turn this from 2 versus 5 into 4 versus 5. I think Spectre's buyback was like ages away. Yeah, he bought out. Buyback available, 1,300 needed. So he bought an Eagle Song instead of buyback. Okay, whatever. So either way, if we wait 10 seconds, then we have twice as many people, and we have a much better chance to take the fight 4v5 as opposed to 2v5. So this is our last hurrah. And unfortunately, I'm telling the team, wait for our spawns, and we end up pushing out a little bit. I think, yeah, right here, the Silencer tries to, like, harass somebody, and someone gets deleted. Oh, maybe this isn't the right fight. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I'm probably thinking of a different fight here, but it happens that way in a second. Alright, so they play it safe, they go for megas. They actually give us Spectre back, which is kind of nice. So we go from 2v5, about to get thrown, to 5v5 with everybody. That's nice of them. Okay, that was good. So Silencer canceled the black hole as we planned on. So that was the one time that actually worked out perfectly. Good Silencer cancel. Everyone dives past, so we cancel the black hole. Everyone here is deleting the supports, and Ember is getting shit on by the Ember. I'm not sure if that's the right play here, because I don't think that these guys can delete the supports fast enough. But I think these guys get pulled on a wild goose chase. Alright, so Spectre comes back to try and man fight the Naga. Bach is trying to finish off the whatchamacallit, but he can't. And I think Silencer ends up dying here without getting either of these two. Yeah. Oh no, Silencer got one. You got the mix. Okay, so this is the point I'm talking about right here. This is the moment. So I'm telling the team that I have 16 seconds to come back. There's only 2 people alive. There's an Oracle alive. He's way back here. He's got nothing. Silencer has bullied him out. There's a Naga in our base who's basically by himself. The Oracle's going to come up and he's going to be able to cast like one thing. But basically, if we wait for 16 seconds and we maybe lose this tier 4 tower, it's going to be 4 of us on Dire against a Naga and maybe an Oracle with 1 fucking cast. And instead of turtling and waiting for that, we all decide to try and man fight the guy who's worth more than like our entire fucking team combined and chain feed right here. So this is the chain feed that I'm talking about that I remember. It's not directed camera. Why would you direct me over there? Okay, I'm just gonna have to go to free. You have to go to free camera here because this is not working out. All right, 3 of us versus 2 of them. Naga's working on towers. That's fine. I'm saying let the towers go. Snapfire comes up to nuke. He comes back. Snapfire dies. Silencer also dies. Silencer doesn't have buyback. Ember Spirit comes up. Ember pretty much dies. Yeah. So now. Clockwork has just respawned, and so rather than having 4 of us to... Wait. Spectre, yeah. Rather than having 5 of us to handle 2 of them, because the Spectre was alive a second ago, right? When did the Spectre die? When it's just the 2 of them? Not sure what's going on here. Okay, that's a glitch. The Spectre's not there. Spectre is dead. Okay, so rather than having the 4 of us against the Medusa, goddammit, the Naga, it's just 2. And I think this was our last chance. So right here we can hold. I'm saying this is the point where we can hold. The Silencer's coming back, the Oracle's coming back, and these 2 are trying to slow down the Naga from hitting the towers. So I'm trying to get everyone to turtle up here. And this is where we botch it. And maybe the clock could have just bought back instantly, and then you could have taken the fight a few seconds earlier. But the clock's plan was to let the tower go here so that we could fight afterwards. Alright. So now Silencer's dead. Now clock is coming back. So now it's 3 versus 1 or 2. Okay. Very little we can do here without the Silencer right-clicking. Clock gets blown up. Clock has buyback, but at this point, without Silencer or Spectre, the Ember Spirit doesn't do enough damage. Yeah, Ember is 6 levels ahead, and then this is game here, and I just call it. Alrighty, so that was it. I think that goes over a lot of the where'd that dot come from? A lot of the important points, and kind of identifies where we sort of threw away and what was an excellent early game lead, and then how we didn't reclaim it when we had an opportunity to. I think some of the early team fights were really terrible, but we had a chance to put the pressure back on the Naga, and we had some really bad ganks and some really bad jungle invasions that didn't work out at all. Strategy-wise, we should have recognized that the Spectre was not the ultimate late-game carry, and the Naga was a far superior carry at this point. We didn't notice that from the Luna ban, and we didn't play towards it. We kept trying to stall out, even though stalling out was worse for us because of how great of a start we had. Alrighty, I'm going to cut it there, because no one is still watching, I'm sure.